Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're brand new here. For today's video I have another book related content. So for today's video I'm going to be going through all the books I read in January 2024. So it's February, I have been a bit late with my book content. I've been a bit late with everything recently. January was a hellish month, but it was a good month for reading. So I have got everything on my phone, on my Goodreads, on my notes, so I will be looking down a bit. But in January I read a total of 6 books, and I also started a book but didn't finish it in January, so I'm going to be talking about all of that in today's video. So if you want to see what books I did read, just keep watching. In January I started a reading challenge, and I started off with just 30 books, but as I was going I was realising I'm reading a lot more books than expected, so I did change my target to 40 books. So at the moment I'm 4 books ahead of schedule because I have read 7 books at this current point. But let's talk about the 6 books I read in January. So the first book I read in January, I carried on the Lucy Score series, and I read Things We Hide from the Light. So I actually rated this 2 stars. Let me just read my review. So I overall enjoyed the storyline and the small town feel the full series gave me. I think I said that in my last video as well about the books I read in 2023. A bit too much back and forth for me. I'm just like, get on with it. Make the decision, do it, and that's it. But a lot of back and forth. And as a Libra, that's really weird for me to say that because everybody thinks Libras are indecisive, but I'm one of the most decisive people that I know. Got annoyed a lot throughout this book. I love you, don't love you, I want you, don't want you, annoying, in capital letters. I'm just reading my Goodreads review here. I'm not a prude, but how many times do we need to read the same sex scene? So that was my review. Yeah, it wasn't. It just felt like we were reading the same book but with 2 different characters. Not a lot was different apart from, like, it was a different brother. This brother in the book was a police officer. He went through something quite traumatic, and that's where a lot of the back and forth came from. Yeah, it was just, nah. 2 out of 5 stars. Then we went on to the 3rd book in this series, Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score, of course. So I just want to say, this book, how many pages do we have? 592 pages. Lucy, you didn't need to make the book that long. You really didn't. I again rated this 2 out of 5. Let's read my review. This book could have been a considerable amount of pages shorter. Same as the last 2 books in the series, too much back and forth for me. The character personalities annoyed me in the book, 40-year-olds acting like teenagers. Enjoyed seeing past perspectives. That's one thing I did enjoy about the last book in the series. You've seen things from the past creeping up and why these characters were the way they were. Again, how many times do you need to read the same sex scene? Also, the terminology was cringe. Yeah, if you've read this book, you know the terminology that I'm talking about. I did like this love story a bit better, even though there was too much back and forth. I did enjoy the love story, and I enjoyed seeing obviously the past, why they act like that, why they hate each other now, but I enjoyed it all coming together. And again, there was themes of like crime throughout, which I did enjoy. It kind of broke it up, but sometimes it felt like it was weird that it was there, because sometimes it came together and I was like, that doesn't go well. But yeah, 2 out of 5. I was so excited for that full series as well. I've seen it everywhere. The cover just sucks you in. And I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but I did. I honestly wanted to read the series because of the beautiful covers. But then next I moved on to a thriller, right? So I went and read What Lies Between Us by John Marrs. I rated this 5 out of 5. This was one of the books that you think you've got it figured out. You know who the baddie is, you know who the good is, and then it flips. So let me read my review. Absolutely couldn't put this book down. It really makes you think who the baddie is, and every time you think you've got it figured out, another spanner is thrown into the loop. It had me on the edge of my seat at many points, and would definitely recommend this book to everyone, and will be reading more from this author. My friend actually recommended me to read this book, and to begin with it wasn't quite what I thought it was, but then you just get more into it and you're like, oh, right, okay. The ending was just like, well, you had it coming to you. You had that coming. But yeah, would definitely recommend that book. A 5-star read for me. I kind of felt like I was on a good kind of reading flow after I read that book, because I was like, this is kind of what I'm into. I read it so quickly, it didn't take me long at all, because again, I could not put it down. I needed to know what was happening next. Then I went on to read The Matchmaker by Catherine Walsh. Now, hadn't seen a lot about this book. I was just going through Goodreads and just picking books. Yes and no. Like, I did enjoy it. I liked the fact it was based in Ireland, the Irish humour, I really enjoyed that. The love story was cute and everything in it, but I just felt like it was a bit, like, not much was really happening. They were trying to make it feel like there was a lot happening, but nothing much was happening. A bit predictable at some points as well, and you know, I don't like predictability in fiction books. Like, you've literally got the floor to make it as out there as you can, and you still make it predictable. Like, I'm no for that. So I did rate this book 2 out of 5 stars. Let's just read my review. Enjoyed the small town feel of the book. I do like that. I do enjoy the small town feels when everybody's like close knit and everything's like a community. Good Irish humour throughout, like I've already mentioned. The romance part was pretty boring. Skipped through a lot of it. I kind of skim read a lot of it, I'm not gonna lie. I did enjoy how it all worked out in the end, and their pub wasn't demolished. I did skim read a lot towards the end, and I just wanted to finish the book. But again, this might be someone's like ultimate favourite book. I'm just giving my thoughts, feelings and opinions and views on this book. It was a 2-star read for me. Okay, then I stumbled on this book by accident. It was coming up to payday. I didn't have enough money in my bank to buy the book I wanted to read, so I read a free book on Kindle, and holy shit. So I read Even Good Girls by Nicholas Jordan. I could not put this book down. It was a thriller, but I just honestly loved it. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. My review, so it wasn't on my TBR, hadn't seen anything about the book or the author before. I enjoyed the fast pace, suspense that this book gave you. It was really quick with things happening. Again, I thought I had everything figured out, who was the murderer, who done it, but then at the very last minute it all flipped. I would have never guessed that's who it was. Or I did throughout, but I kind of just brushed it off like, no, couldn't be him. It was him. I do want to read more from this author. I just honestly loved it. Absolutely loved the book. I loved the full storyline of it. I just loved how it all came together. Yeah, would 100% recommend that book. Then the last full book I finished in January was The Mystery Guest by Nita Prose. So this is the second book in the series. Again, really enjoyed this book. I think I enjoyed the first book more though. I feel like very similar, like another death in the hotel, but I enjoyed more of how this kind of came about. Like, I enjoyed seeing more of all the evidence coming to light and everything piecing together. I did enjoy that more in this book. Again, the maid was about to be fucked over. She was getting accused of murder yet again. But I like how it all flipped and the investigator wanted her to be part of her team come the end of it. So yeah, I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars, and let's see my review. I feel like the story came together and was finished really quickly after a bit of build up to get to the point. Yeah, that's true. It was a lot of build up for everything to be summarised really quickly. Loved the characters in the book. Jaw dropped at the end with all the family ties coming together. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah, my jaw hit the floor. Enjoyed the theme of family and history throughout. Yeah, because there was a lot of back and forth. It was going back to like so many years ago when the maid was like really young and coming to like present time, so I enjoyed that. I do enjoy seeing like a bit of back and forth in that sense. But yeah, 4 out of 5 stars, absolutely loved it. So I did start reading a book in January but didn't finish it, so I will talk about that in my February recap, but I'll tell you what the book was. It was The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. But you'll need to wait to February's video to see what I thought of that book, because I am finished it now as we're talking. and I have moved on to another one. Anyway, that was my little January recap of the books I read in January. I'm going to start doing these videos monthly because I felt like when I was filming my recap of 2023, it was really hard to remember what was happening in each of the books. So I'm going to start doing it on a monthly basis so everything's more fresh in my mind and in my mind. I hope you enjoyed seeing the books I read in January, and I hope you're excited for the upcoming videos this year. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe. I could really use your support, and until next time, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.